There are numbers in sports that are supposed to be etched in stone. Idamaggio's hit streak. Gretzky's point total. In women's golf, that number was 68.69. 7. It wasn't just a statistic, it was a barrier that separated. But to understand why this moment shattered the internet and left analysts speechless, we can't just look at the scoreboard. We have to look at the invisible war that was waged all season long. A war of injuries, silenced critics, and a rivalry that is about to set the sport on fire. This is to truly grasp the magnitude of what Gino Titicul accomplished at the CME Group Tour Championship. We have to travel back in time to 2002. The world was a different place. There were no iPhones, social media didn't exist, and Annika Sorenstam was playing a different sport than everyone else. That year, Annika won 11 times. She didn't just beat people, she demoralized them. Her scoring average of 68.6 to 97 was considered a glitch in the matrix. For 2 decades, that number sat at the top of the record books like a warning sign. Do not approach. Legends like Lorena Ochoa, Inbee Park, and even a prime Lydia Coat couldn't. Then came the 2024 season. It was supposed to be the year of Nelly, and for a while it was Nelly Korda, the American superstar with the picture-perfect swing, went on a tear that drew comparisons to Byron Nelson. She won 5 tournaments in a row. She was on the cover of magazines, walking red carpets, and carrying the entire LPGA Tour on her back. The narrative was written, Korda is the queen, and everyone else is just fighting for second place. But sports have a funny way of destroying narratives. While the cameras were fixed on Korda, something was happening in the background. A silent storm was gathering in the form of Gino Titicul.
Way to end the season than with a win from the world #1 Gino Titicul.
Incredible. I mean, like, incredible, extremely happy for sure to be able to, defend the titles.
And an unreal par save on 14.
That is a great looking shot. Pretty much what she did last year.
Help draw. Don't think she can carry that right bunker today.
Gino Titicul goes back-to-back at the CME Group Tour Championship. Playing like there was never a doubt.
Most people forget that Gino's season began in the shadows. While Korda was hoisting trophies in the spring, Gino was sitting on a couch in Thailand, unable to even hold a golf club. A nagging thumb injury had sidelined her. For an elite athlete, there is no torture worse than watching your rivals dominate while you are helpless. Rumors swirled. Will the injury linger? Will she lose her touch? In a game that relies entirely on feel, a thumb injury can be a career ender. But that time away did something unexpected. It didn't break her, it reset her. While the rest of the tour was grinding itself down, traveling thousands of miles and battling fatigue, Gino was resting, she was watching, and she was getting hungry. When she finally returned to the tour, she wasn't just playing catch-up, she was playing a different game entirely. She became a machine of consistency. The Veer Trophy awarded for the lowest scoring average is the ultimate lie detector in golf. You can get lucky and win a tournament. You can get hot with the putter for a week. But you cannot fake a scoring average over an entire season. To beat Annika's record, you can't just be good. You have to be flawless. You can't have a bad day. A single round of 75 or 76 destroys the math. Gino didn't just avoid. The tension on that Sunday was suffocating. The CME Group Tour Championship isn't just a trophy, it comes with a $4 million check, the largest single payout in the history of women's sports. That kind of money changes lives. It changes legacies. But for Gino, the money seemed secondary to the history at stake. Watching her play the back nine was like watching a surgeon at work. There was no panic, no sweat, just a rhythmic, hypnotic repetition of fairways and greens. But here is where the story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. We usually expect records to be broken by aggressive, fiery competitors, the Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan types who play with a scowl. Gino broke the record with a smile. She laughed with her caddy. She waved to the crowd. It was disarming. It masked the killer instinct lurking underneath. She had beaten the legend by a fraction of a stroke. The margin was razor thin, roughly the width of a dimple on a golf ball, but it was enough to topple the statue. And that brings us to Nelly Korda. The dynamic between Korda and Thitikul is fascinating because it is built on a foundation of pure, terrifying respect. Korda had a rough end to her season. The injuries that plagued her, the fatigue of the winning streak, and the pressure of being the world number one finally caught up to her. She watched from the sidelines of the leaderboard as Gino stole the headlines. When reporters cornered Korda after the round, they were looking for a soundbite. They wanted to know how it felt to see someone else take the spotlight. In that moment, Korda wasn't a rival, she was a fan. She acknowledged that what Gino had done wasn't just good golf, it was an act of historical significance. It was an admission that the bar had been raised. The rivalry for 2025 has officially shifted. It's no longer Korda versus the field. It is Korda versus the Thitikul, power versus precision. The American Queen versus the Thai prodigy. But the most shocking reaction came from the record breaker herself. In a world where athletes are quick to declare themselves the greatest of all time or flex on social media, Gino Thitikul's response was almost confusingly humble. When told she had beaten Annika, her eyes went wide with panic. "I hope Annika won't be angry about that," she joked. It was a moment of pure innocence that highlighted the absurdity of her talent. That statement is the key to understanding Gino Thitikul. She values the grind. She values the consistency. Winning Player of the Year is voted on. It's subjective. The Virat Trophy is cold, hard math. It proves who played the best golf shot for shot, day after day. Winning it for the second time before turning 23 puts her on a trajectory that is frankly terrifying for the rest of the tour. The landscape of the LPGA has fundamentally shifted. We are seeing a dominance from the Asian stars, specifically Thailand, that is reshaping the global game. Gino is the tip of the spear. She has taken the torch from the Jutanogran sisters and sprinted with it. She has proven that you don't need to overpower a golf course to own it. You just need to never ever make a mistake. The $4 million check Gino took home is massive, but the signal it sends is bigger. Women's golf has arrived at a place where the talent, the money, and the drama rival anything in men's sports. The Gino season wasn't just a nice story, it was a warning shot. As we look toward 2025, the questions are endless. Can Nelly Korda bounce back and reclaim her dominance? Will the thumb injury that plagued Gino return? Or is she now invincible? And perhaps the most intriguing question of all, now that the unbreakable record is broken, what is left for Gino Thitikul to conquer? She has the money, she has the Virat Trophy, she has the respect of the legends. But the scary part for her competition is that she seems to be just getting started. She isn't chasing history anymore. She is the one writing it, stroke by stroke, with a smile that hides a ruthless desire to be the best who ever lived. The record book has a new name at the top, and for the first time in 22 years, the shadow of Annika Sorenstam has lifted, replaced by the bright, terrifying light of Gino Thitikul. But there is one final twist to this season that people are overlooking. While Gino took the scoring title and the big check, Nelly Korda still took Player of the Year honors based on points. It created a split kingdom. One queen holds the crown of most wins, while the other holds the crown of best golf. It is an imperfect resolution to a perfect season, and it guarantees that when the first tee shot is struck in 2025, it won't just be a tournament. It will be a war for the soul of the sport. The myth is dead. Long live the new reality.